Okay. So here was our database. Okay. So we're doing this database where we have bugs. So bugs is like a virus or a bacteria. That's going to have a name and a bug type. And then a bug's going to have many treatments. And for this model, a treatment's going to belong to just one bug. Like I said, in the real world, that might not be true because like you can have like NyQuil treat a whole bunch of bugs. But for how we're modeling this, a bug has one treatment, a treatment belongs to one bug. And then we could have like a third independent model or, you know, as many other models as we want. We could have like a hospitals model. We could maybe have a model that was like jobs, and maybe we're like showing the bugs and treatments, but then we could show hospitals and maybe there's like jobs related to this application that are like healthcare jobs. So we can have many tables in our database and they can have kind of all sorts of kinds of relations. But this one, we're keeping it simple, just kind of really focusing on this has many. So there's that. I go to Trello, or wait, no, it's Figma. I want to go to Figma, not Trello. We have our UI set up. And, you know, we actually have done a lot of this where, you know, we're going to have a home page that just essentially has links to bugs, hospitals, and an about page. So our bugs page, we're showing all of our bugs. And from here, we can like click a show button. We can have a delete button and an edit button and a new bug button. Those take us, the edit and new will take us to forms, separate forms, but you know, behind the scenes, we're using the same component. We don't have to, but that's just how we chose to do it. And then we're going to have a bug show page, which is going to show that bug, but it's going to also show all the vaccines for that bug. And the way the requirements for this is we're going to do all the CRUD actions on this page. So we're not going to navigate to different forms. And this is how it's going to be on the hackathon. And part of the reason for this is to kind of make you do the CRUD actions in two different ways. You know, there's one way that you're going to do it with, you know, React Router, going to different pages. And then there's also going to be another way of just doing it all on one page. Cool. Let's see if I just kind of want to see where this is at. I can start up my server, start up my React app. So I kind of got in my mind what I need to do, and then we can go ahead and look at what we've actually done. So our home page is really not, we don't have our buttons added. That would be pretty quick. We have our bugs page. Our bugs page goes and grabs the data. We can create a new bug. That would take us here. We can edit that bug. That updates it and also is doing the navigation. We can delete it. It deletes it from the database and from the UI. We also can go click this show page. That takes us to this bug show page where we want to grab this bug's vaccines. Cool. And then, yeah, we'd have this hospital page, which we don't even have the model for or any data, but we have it set up in React Router, and we have an about page. Cool. So yeah, the next thing we want to do is this work on this bug show page. So couple things. Well, first thing, I want to, I think the first thing we could do is, because we do have all of our, and let's just review this just since we're here, since we're kind of in review mode. We do have something we did yesterday was getting all our controller actions done for our treatments. So like I have a bug with ID 2. So I could go API bugs 2. Do we not? Oh, that's a post. I need to do it yet. There's that bug. How do I in Postman, or like if I'm thinking front end and I want to test this and I'm assuming my back end's working, what is the path? What do I need to do to create a bug? What do I need to change here? So let's do create first. Or let's do how do I get all the bugs treatments? What do I need to change?
You need to do bug/treatments rather than bug/2, right?
It should be bug/2/treatments.
Yeah, remember I need to grab the treatments for that bug. So I do need to send the ID.
Oh, I thought you were trying to grab all of them.
We don't have a route for that setup. We could,
okay.
but we don't. If I did have a route for that, what do you think the URL should be? If it was grabbing all of the treatments and not dependent on a bug, I would just probably call it API treatments. Hey, get me all the treatments. But now, but we don't have that set up. We never did that. But if it's for a specific bug, I'm going to, in my URL, I'm going to say, you know, bugs too, because this becomes readable now. Now I can be like, okay, bugs, go to the bugs, get to, and then, yeah, I want to grab that treatments. Just making our URLs kind of semantically nice. So that would be all the treatments for bug 2. Let's make this work. We don't have this URL. Let's just do it really quick in VS Code. So I want, you know, I kind of think, hey, you know, this API treatments should be a path, and that should grab all the treatments. Take like 1 minute to do this, 2 minutes. First of all, what if I do API treatments, what error am I going to get?
Not found.
Yeah, not found.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a route for that.
Yeah. So let's just kind of go error by error and fix these. So how do I fix this error?
You're gonna have
Create a
to.
route.
Yeah, go define it in my routes. Do I do it? Where do I like put this? Someone give me a line number. Like, do I do 2, 5?
Do it on 7 or 8. Or just create a new one.
Yeah, I'll do it right here because I want this to be namespaced with API. So I'm going to do it inside of there, but I don't want it to be namespaced within bugs. So I'm going to go to treatments. And then that's going to go to bugs. What should I call this?
Treatments.
You're gonna get all treatments.
Yeah, this
Okay,
one's a
yeah.
little like, I can't call it index because I'm already using that name, so there's
Maybe
not,
like treatments underscore all, maybe.
yeah. Something, I'll just come up with something that's a little descriptive, so treatments all, sure. Okay, so now if I do a GET request to this, what am I gonna get?
Not defined.
Yeah, I'll still get a 404, but this error is gonna be different. Or I'm gonna get a syntax error because I didn't. So this is a 500 error. Notice it's not a 404, it's a 500 error because this is like my server's breaking because I have a syntax error. I forgot a comma. So that's a 500 error. Now I send again. There's my 404 again, but it's a different 404. It's saying, hey, the action treatments all could not be found. Okay, so go to my treatments controller. Go ahead and do def. Okay, is this going to be, so remember, like we have like a 200, I think 200 is like no content. I don't really have anything in here. Am I going to get an error? Am I going to get 200? Will I get 204? Will I get a 404?
I think you'll get a 200. That's my guess.
200? Any other guesses?
Yeah, maybe just like an empty array. I don't know.
The array.
I'd guess a 404.
404. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it out. I don't think I saved that. Or did I? No, I did save it. Treatments all could not be, oh, this was my bad. I didn't even see this one. So let's look at this error. Tell me where you think this issue might be.
Because you don't have it.
Read, like when you read these errors, like especially right here, read, like really read this like as literally as you can.
So you have to go to your bugs controller and put treatments on inside of it.
That's one way I could fix it. But why? I mean, I want to get all my treatments. Why is this going to the bugs controller? So you saw that,
It
like,
should be in the treatments controller, right?
yeah, it should be in the treatments controller. But why is it taking me to the bugs controller?
Oh, because in your routes you did bugs instead of treatments.
Yeah, because I think I copy and pasted this or was like, looking at that and I'm not really thinking. So yeah, right there, I said bugs. I want this to go to my treatments. Now, Randy said I could go put my treatments.all in my bugs controller, and that would work. I could go define that method in there, and I could do it. It just makes more sense, like, to throw it in your treatments controller because it's kind of interacting with that model. So now let's try it again. Could not find bug without an ID. Look at my errors. Where is this failing, or what is this error? Anyone see which line this is failing at?
Line 45.
43,
Treatments.
44.
So could not find bug without an ID. What is that error about?
Oh, never mind.
Isn't it running
Is it
the
because
before
you're not-
action and it doesn't need an ID on that specific one?
Yeah, exactly. So on that
Yeah.
one, treatments.all. Now, when I set this up, I do this before action where I set bug. And I don't need to do this on this action because I don't this is just grabbing all my treatments. So now I need to not do that on this method. So I can do a except. And I want to do these on all my methods except the treatments. Underscore all. Now I send this. Did I spell something wrong here? Probably spelling error. All right, there's my 204. There's my no content. It was successful, but I'm not returning anything. So now I can just, what do I need to do here? Render JSON.
At treatments. Or at bug.treatments underscore all.
I don't have, app bug is going to be one bug, right? And we're not setting the bug on this method. So we're skipping this action because I don't have an ID. So how do I grab all the treatments?
Just treatment.all.
Yeah, treatment. All. Do I only have? Is that all my treatments I have?
You couldn't use your treatment instance variable because that's how you set your treatment, right?
I think that uses a bug ID though.
What's the difference between, and
That's the model.
this
you're
was the
referencing.
issue that we were looking at the end of class, where we were called, like someone was calling the update method on the class, and it was updating all of them versus calling update on a instance of one. So the capital T, this is your model. That is like, you could think I have like a treatment model that describes what a treatment is. You could also think of like in maybe a more real world situation, you could think I have like a person model, like, or a human model, where like I'm going to say, you know, humans have like a name, they have like a way to breathe, but that's like the model of human. But then I could have a instance of a human, and then that would be like an actual person. So, you know, I could say like humans as a model, they're like mammals, we have teeth, we have hair. But that's, and I could, if I updated all humans, if I did human.update, it would like update all the humans. Or if I did human.destroy, capital H, that would destroy all the humans. But if I go pick out one human, like Bob, and I say Bob.update, then I'm just updating Bob, or Bob.destroy, I'm just destroying Bob. So when I say treatment.all, I'm saying, hey, grab all of my treatments. So I'm kind of a little confused. I thought I should have more than that. And their IDs are 3 and 4. What could I maybe do just to see if that's like, see if that's right or not? Like kind of like something to check.
Check in your
Just see
Rails
if you're-
console.
I
Yeah,
could-
with Rails C.
I could do a rel C. I think rel C is gonna kind of probably give me the same thing because it's just treatment.all. That's a good idea. So let's do it though. I could just do like treatment.all. So those both seem like they go with bug IT. So I could do like bug.first.
You must have deleted something else. You
Yeah,
could try to seed and
It's only pulling from one foreign.
Yeah, I think I've
Key,
like
right?
deleted my like some of my seed
for
from
other
my
bugs.
data.
Yeah.
So what I could also do is just do like a rels db reset. let's reset my database, because when I reset my database, oh, I can't do that when I have it. So I had my server running. I can't reset it. So there's one other session using the database. My server was running, so I can't just delete it. So Rails DB reset. Okay, now I'm doing treatment.all. Now I know I should have 4 treatments. And it's kind of the nice thing about like resetting your seats file. It's like, okay, now I know I should have 2 bugs and 4 treatments. So if I do a send, oh, I need to restart my server. Cool. There's my 4 treatments.
How did you set it up in your C file so it told you how many of each you had?
I just have a puts message.
Oh, but you have a count. Okay. Is count like a Ruby something?
Yeah, there's counts like in a method on arrays, so you can do count, size, and length.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so we have those 4. And they, they have their nice IDs, so that can be a good way to do that. Okay. Is that make, okay, let's just go back to like this little thing, because I think there was some confusion. Or there might be like a little bit of like, what's the difference between treatment.destroy and we can also say it like this. We could do like treatment.first.destroy.
The first one will destroy all of the treatments. The second one will only destroy the first treatment.
Yeah. And the technical terms for this is a class method, or say like this is destroy is called on class. These are actually 2 different methods, even though they have the same name, they're 2 totally different methods. Destroyed is called on the class. How do I know it's a class method? Because capital T, like with my models, my classes are going to start with a capital letter. So that's a class method. This is what's called a instance method. And this is called on instance of class. Treatment.first, that is like, that's my, which one is that? That's this specific one. It's this Pfizer treatment. So it's that specific instance of treatment. So I can destroy that. I can call methods on that. Do you think I could do something like a treatment.first.create?
You would have to
The first
destroy it
treatment
first, right?
is already
Because
there.
yeah,
There's not
But I
gonna, yeah, there's
think
not
that-
really going to be a create method on a instance of treatment. That's going to be on the class. The class creates a treatment.
I see what you mean.
The
Even
update,
if you did destroy the first one and then try to make a new one, there would already be another.
you'd still want to do it on the class. I don't know what, actually, I honestly don't know if this would work or not. I don't think it would.
This is generally the same syntax as like the Rails console, right?
Yes, you can, the Rails console just allows you to type like Ruby in your console. And it also like lets you, like it loads up all your models too. So it's, the Rails console is Ruby. Like this is what the IRB stands for. It's interactive Ruby shell. But then it also loads up all your Rails stuff. So like all your models are defined. Treatment.all. Treatment.destroy. Does it wants an argument? Oh, it probably does it want an ID? I thought I could like destroy all of them. Guess it wants an ID. Which I guess makes sense. It's probably pretty good. It doesn't allow me to do that. But now Rails DB reset. Rails. So yeah, anything you can type in like your Rails console, you can type in here. We'll spend some more time on class methods and instance methods. But that's kind of just like a little, at a high level, doesn't make sense. I think once again, if you think of it in like a real world situation, you know, it does make sense because like a human, like the idea of a human as a like thing, that's not like, it's like a classification, like humans breathe, humans eat, humans have hair, humans have 2 legs. But like, that's kind of, you know, the human population is about 60 billion or 6 billion or whatever, 8 billion. Like that's kind of descriptions on like a population would be like a human, like a class method. Hey, grab me the population of humans. But Bob, like it doesn't really make sense that Bob would have a population because Bob's an instance of human. Bob could have something like Bob dot age. And that would be, you know, like 24. Human could maybe have an age property, right? What would the human age be?
Maybe like a range,
What? No, it'd be
like
like,
a range, like 0.
like how long have humans been on Earth? I don't know. What is that, like 1 million years? I don't know, however old humans are. Bob age, Bob is a,
Like the race,
yeah,
human race.
yeah. So that would like, they both could have like an age property. They might not need it, but they would be different. They kind of like the age of the human would be like how long have humans been around? Bob age is how long has Bob been around? So if I want to grab all my treatments, like that's why I use my treatment model, like, hey, grab all of my treatments. Like I would if I did like a human class, I'd say, hey, grab all of my humans. And if I call it on, if I call destroy on the human class, well, Rails wants me to give me the ID of the human. But if I called bob.destroy, I don't need to give it the ID because it's going to destroy Bob. Cool. All right. So let's keep going. We've done our get. We've kind of did a little tangent, but it's kind of good because I think people, you know, you're saying like, I think you can underestimate that Rails is easy. Rails is not easy. It just gives you a lot of convention. But it's the type of thing that like once you have to like kind of go outside the lines, people just freeze up because they got so stuck on the conventions that they really don't learn it. So, because yeah, maybe we do want to do something like this. We want to grab all the treatments and it doesn't fit our convention, but we can make it work. And we're gonna like do some deeper dives into Rails. So it's fine that it is kind of just the basics and the conventions right now, but we'll definitely, you know, part 2 of this course, we'll go more into Rails. All right. So the next thing we want to test out is a post. How do I create a treatment? So this is before like I'm setting up in code and like React.
You have to give it a bug ID first.
Yeah, I have to do
The
bugs
bug, and then go to a specific ID,
1.
and then you would do a post request to that.
But I also need the treatments.
Treatments, yeah.
Wait, what?
I would. Yeah. And do a post. And then I need to come in here, you know, give it a treatment. That's the params.require treatment. And then this is the permit name. So we'll allow the name, go new treatment.
How's it gonna know which bug it belongs to though?
Give it the ID.
That
Oh,
ID
yeah.
right there. That's why that ID needs to be there in the URL.
That was a trick question. I was just asking.
No, that's a good question. That's exactly how we know. So I'm creating a treatment for bug 1. Let's quit my server. Start that up. Send. So yeah, we have a new treatment that has ID 5, but the bug ID is 1. So how would I update this treatment?
Add the ID of
Yeah.
Add the ID of 5. Now this 1 needs to stay the same because if
Right.
that's not, it's not going to work. And then I need to switch this to a put. And then yeah, maybe we could give it a success rate. So that updates it. If I want to delete it, what do I need to change this to?
I think you're good. Just delete it.
Well, I need to change the method, right?
Delete, yeah.
Delete, and then the URL is the same.
I think so.
Cool. Yeah, and that deletes it. I could try it again. It's not there. So yeah, the routes and the method with the has many, they're the same, or generally that they're going to be the same. You just have to give it the bugs and then the ID of the bug that it belongs to. But we did show like maybe if I wanted to grab all the treatments, I can do that. API, oh, that's a delete. I need to do a get. I can still come up with a call to grab all my treatments. It's pretty, seems like a useful case potentially. Let me just do one more. Let's do like a routes. I'm just going to do this get all bugs, all. I could go to my bugs controller. That's all. Like bugs equal bug dot all. do like a bugs.map do end bug. So I want to return maybe like my bug key with a bug, and then like the treatments bug dot treatments like bug, set this equal to a variable. And then I could render JSON bug. I'm going to say this, there's a better way to do this with SQL. Think about what we're doing here. I'm grabbing all my bugs from my database, creating, and then I'm going to go through all my bugs and I'm going to map them. So I'm going to return, through my map, I'm going to return this array of objects that have the bug key with the bug data and then the treatments with the bug treatments. So I'm going to have an array of objects in my bug data that's going to have the bug information and the treatments for that bug. And that's what I'm going to render. And I just call this method all. And in my routes, I defined a get all that goes to that method. So I could do a get API, all. Oh, I have that action of what's this there? I should read it. Undefined method treatments for bug, spelled treatments wrong. How many times have I misspelled treatments? There's a 204, no content. Oh yeah, sorry, the map doesn't need a return in Ruby. It actually screws it up, but it is technically like returning that into this. So let's try that again. Now I have an array of objects. There's my bug information. There's my treatments. There's my bug information. There's my treatments. I could maybe if this one API call, is anyone kind of maybe thinking what this might be useful for, or like what's another way you can now do this assignment? Here's one API call to grab all my bug information and all my treatments. What do you think I could now use on the front? Like I could do this API call, and now I have shared data across multiple components.
You could do that for your show page, right?
I could do all my read function. I could do my show page. With this data, I could really do all of my show pages. I could do my bug show. I could list all the treatments. I could do all my form. Like I have all of my data from my database. This is all of my database right here.
Are you talking about a data provider?
Yeah, this is maybe where if I wanted to do it this way, hey, why don't we just at the start, let's grab all the data, throw this in a data provider. Then I could do all of my updates to this object, like to this array. This could just be my like app data. And I could do all my updates to that. It would maintain it globally. I could do all that stuff in my data provider. And yeah, that's just another way to do it. I would still want some of these. I would still need some of these like Axios calls to like create a bug, update a bug. And then I need to go into my data provider and just update this state. This would be a little more complicated for like this level, but it actually might simplify things. But that'd be pretty nifty right now. You just, when you load your app, you're going to do that Axios call to get all your data. And then as you go through and navigate, you would just need to like kind of figure out what you need to show and what you need to update and where you might need to add it. So. And I've worked at like, your data wouldn't look exactly like this, but I've definitely worked at places where like, especially teleperformance, it's like, you would just get back so much data. Like you do like 1 or 2 API calls and you just get back a crap ton of data. And then you just have to like map it and filter it depending on what you wanted your UI to be. So.
What does the bug in between the straight lines do? Like after your map? Like where it says bugs.map do bug?
Yeah, this is a lot like, so if this was JavaScript, it's just a different kind of syntax. So this do bug, that's kind of, it's because this is not technically a, in JavaScript, this is just a function. In Ruby, this is what's called a block. It's very similar to a function, but you can think of this bug as like the parameter where I could call this, you know, anything. I could call it X, but I'm doing a map function on bugs, and this X is going to be the thing. It's going to be the bug. Right, I could do that in JavaScript and it'd be like that. Does that answer that?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
This is a bad way to do this, by the way, but it's a better way to do this with SQL. Well, I think this will be more, it's at least more understandable. It's only bad because this is like very, very inefficient. If you have like, even like 1,000 things, this can really like start getting into like this taking like seconds to minutes, which is, that's really bad. But it'd work for your app. Cool.
So you guys show SQL or?
We're gonna do SQL like week 7-ish, so we'll get into it.
All right.
Yeah, all of these calls, I mean, when we do like a get, or we're doing like a treatment.all behind the scenes, like this is like the SQL it's doing for us. So behind the scenes, it's doing SQL, but we're just not typing it. We'll let Rails do that for now. Cool. Let's maybe just, since I do want this to kind of be a review, and let's just do a data provider really quick. We're not going to use it for this. We're just going to set it up. So just to kind of review what the data provider does. So I'm going to do a provider folder. Normally we could have multiple providers, but just how we've been showing it, we've only been adding one, and I'm just kind of giving it a generic name of data provider. So with a data provider, I import React from React. And what I do is I'm I'm creating, there's a couple words, there's context. You can think of the context as like, it's our consumer, it's a way to consume the data. And then we're going to have a provider, which is going to provide the data. So I'm going to do a data context. This is going to be react.create context.
Would you mind making some comments here? Just to kind of explain.
Yeah, so this, so I'll say it like this, the create context gives us a provider and consumer. Let's say consumer, we are not going to use. Instead, we use our data context combo with the use context hook. Right, we use this like this. It's like let data equal use context where data is going to be value in our provider. What's the value prop in our provider? What's the value prop? Well, let's create our provider. So const data provider. This is just a React component. This is where we use the data context dot provider. So we're using the provider from right here. And then here I do props.children. What does props.children do? Oh my gosh, why does it keep auto completing that? Props.
Basically give you access to each different key.
No, not quite. Or I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Each different item within the. I don't know how to explain it.
Does it just allow you to pass the props to everything?
It's going to allow, I need to define props here too. So I need to define props here. What props.children is, do you kind of remember like that outlet component that we have in React Router? You remember how this just kind of like plops this thing there?
Yeah.
You can kind of think as props.children doing something similar. Like this is going, because here I'm defining this React component called data provider. And this props.children, it's now going to allow this component to wrap other components, because how I want to use this is I want to wrap all of that in my data provider. So all of this right here is past, like this is the props.children, because my data provider is wrapping all of that. So just like kind of takes all of this right here when I render it and it goes plop. So that's what that's doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, is the react.create back in your other file, your data provider file?
Which one? The react.create?
Yeah, is that like that's a predefined something that you're just like, is that where you're getting the dot provider from?
Yes. The dot, yes, that is definitely the react.create context, gives me an object that has backup provider and consumer on it. But it also gives me, I'm also exporting this context because we're going to use it in other files.
Right.
Where the data, like this data, where data yo, this data yo is going to be the value prop. So if I were to use this, I have this value x equals 1, and let's just assume in some other file I'm doing this. What is data yo going to be? In file.
1.
Not quite 1, you're close. It's going to be this object.
Oh,
Data yo dot x would be 1.
got it. That makes sense.
So I could do a use effect in here. I can create some state in here. Data. It's called bug data. Set bug data. Get bug data. This const get bug data. This is going to be async. Res equal await. Axios dot get. What's my URL for this? Does anyone remember?
API slash. Are you trying to get everything or just the?
Yeah, I was
bug?
trying to do that where I grabbed everything. I think I just called it all, right? And then set bug data to be all. Or sorry, no, not that. Res dot data. I probably want to send that bug data, right? This is not. I'm getting an error. Get bug data. I need to call that function. Okay. So what is data yo going to look like now in another file?
The
Could be an object.
X1 and then bug data.
And then the bug data, which should be my array of, objects, right? Once it mounts, which should happen pretty quick. So data yo dot bug data should be my data. I could also just do I could just destructure right, because that's just an object. I don't have to call this a name. I could just destructure the things right off that object. But let's go ahead and do that in my bugs. Let's just do it in my home just to keep this a little more separated. So let's do this. Let's do import. Or what am I trying to do here? Const. Like I just want to grab, I don't even care about that X. I just want to grab my bug data. Equals use context data context. And then right here, let's just do a paragraph. JSON.stringify bug data. So let's go home. Let me refresh. What might I want to check? Doesn't seem to be working. This isn't working.
Server might not be running.
My server, I mean, that's something I could go check. I could also like have my console. Cool, so I'm getting a 500 error. Definitely would, a server is a good one to go check. Undefined local variable or method bug in my bugs controller. I thought we had that working, but I guess not. Maybe I took something out. So line 8 and 9 in my bug controller. Let's go look at that. Where's my error? What's wrong with this? What I need to change something. So line, saying like line 9, I believe. Undefined method bug. It's a local variable or method bug. It doesn't know. So it looks like it's undefined local method bug.
Do they need to be bugs instead of bug?
Does it? Does it make like bug treatment bugs dot treatment? Bug is bugs.
Oh, no.
I mean, that would maybe, I mean, it might fix the error, but then this would break right here. It's the map. So, and yeah, this is the Ruby thing. So this is what I'm naming this parameter. I called it X, but here I'm using bug, so that's not defined.
Could be.
So I'd either need to call this X, or what probably would be better is to call this bug.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and refresh. And there you go. There's all my data. Now let's try this as a little demo. I go to bugs. I go create a new bug. Let's just give it like a really obnoxious name. So there it is. If that's updated on my form, on my show page, on my bug show, if I go home, it's not on my data provider. Why is it not on this page? This one's a little,
You need to do like a use effect of some kind.
I do a use effect. So if I go to my data provider, I do a use effect. So, and I'll just even do a console.log here. Use effect in data provider. Let's inspect. So I'm going to do a console. Well, I made a change now it's there. So if I do a refresh, the use effect in data provider has been called. If I go to my bugs, it's mounted and doing an API call to get bugs. If I go back home, I don't get the use effect called again. If I go back to bugs, that's called again. Why is my bugs, why is that use effect called getting called when it mounts, but my home's not?
Just do a navigate. Oh, never mind. I was
Yeah, this one goes into more. So think about my data providers is wrapping my whole app. It's not unmounting and mounting. It mounts at the very start.
oh,
So it does it at the start, but I never unmount it. My home component, if I were to go in and do a use effect here, and log, use effect in home. If I have that message there. So let's just refresh. So I have my use effect in home called, and then also my use effect in the data provider was called. If I go to bugs, I mean, it's a different message, but that message is in the use effect in my bugs. So it's mounted and doing API call. If I go back home, those are now mounting and unmounting, but my data provider is just there. It's not unmounting or mounting.
so because it's not unmounting, it can't mount on another call.
Yeah, it's not really the only way I can.
It's like not refreshing.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's probably what I want. I don't want that component to probably be remounting.
Yeah.
But it's not updating.
So how would I update it though? So let's go to my bug form. This is where I create, right? This is where I'm creating. Well, now I would need to store this to a variable. And then in my data provider, well, now I would need to have because now I do need to add it to this state. So let's do add bug. Take a bug. And I would do something like this. This gets a little, well, this is going to be maybe a little weird. So I do my bug data dot map. I just want to spread out over my bug data. Go in and create a bug treatments. Oh wait, sorry, bug data dot map, or sorry, no, I did this wrong. I just want to do it like this, set bug data. So now I want to pass this to that provider, that add bug.
Why
So
is
now
treatment the array?
What?
Why is
Yeah,
treatment
that's what I was
the
wondering.
array?
Okay, let's do it like this, because this is maybe what you normally thought I should do, like bug, right? Let's do it like this, because that would maybe make sense, right? Because that kind of fits the convention of how we've been doing it.
Is it just because the add bug is just so broad that when doing into something specific like this, you have to add more to it?
Yeah, let's
So
just look
it's
at
not
it.
as easy.
I'll leave it like this and then we'll kind of look at it when we add it and see kind of why I did it that first way. So now I have this add bug method. I pass it to my provider. I now want to go use it in my form. The use contact hook is so nice. It's like, oh wait, I want that function. Okay, add bug. We'll use context. Context, sweet. Now I have that function. Now I can go add the bug. That's just going to be res.data. That is like, once you kind of get a little more familiar with this, that's like so easy. It's like, man, I just want to add a bug to my state here because this is where my state's living. Okay, let's add this function. Now this part might be a little tricky about how to do it, but let's just assume we'll figure this out and this method works. Well, now I just got to pass that to my provider. And then if I want to grab that anywhere in my app, well, now I can grab my add bug. And now that's just a function. So then I can call it. So let's go ahead, go to my bugs, new bug. Or like show work. Just do like a whole bunch of like, make it visible. So now I can create that. Let's go home. And there it is. It's a little hard to see here. Let's do this. I know this is kind of, what I'm going to do is in my home, I'm going to do a render bug data function. So I think when conventions can be very nice, but they can also be your worst enemy because then you change one little thing and it just like, you're just thrown off and you don't know what to do. What does my bug data look like? Like, if I go look at and kind of ignore this last one I just added, and let's even do this here where it's a little more clean. When I do API-all, I'm getting back an array. Like, what does the data look like? It's an array
of objects
Mhm.
with both a bug object and a treatment array with objects inside of it. That's messy.
Yes. But that's what I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear when I was like, what does that bug data look like? It's an array of objects that have a bug key, and that is an object with, ID, name, and, whatever. Okay. So then there's also a treatments key on here. That's an array of objects, that have like ID, name, success rate. And that's important. It's really important to know that because when I do this, like when I want to render this, I'm going through my bug data. Now I'm going to map it. So just call this BD. Let's just do this paragraph and let's do BD.bug. Not name, right? Let me just go little by little here. Let's do an HR is, let's actually, I have the class name. This bordered. Let's also make this one border just to clean it up. Okay. So here, render bug data. I'm gonna get rid of this stuff too. Okay. So for now, I'm going to go through my bug data. And for now, I'm just going to go through the bug data and grab the bug dot name. Let's just see if we can get this working, because this, yeah, it gets a little nested. It doesn't look like I'm grabbing it. Oh. What am I forgetting?
Axios?
What? Sorry, I didn't hear
Actually,
that.
never mind. You already have
A return?
you already have that.
Yes, I'm missing two returns
Yeah.
actually. Return and return. Okay, so there's my bug. There's the names, right? Okay, let's keep going. It's all in a div. Another div. Can I do like a bug data? And let's also get the idea. Let's say, just so we can see this bug name. Bug ID.
Yeah, now if you just, basically you can grab any, you can grab like any piece of info you want.
And for now, let's JSON stringify bug data dot treatments. And let's just make these bordered to make, this will make it easier to see, I believe. Let's see if that's working. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to actually make that run. I need to like move my terminal. Okay. All right, I'm not getting their treatments. They're, oh my gosh. I misspelled this. Let me ask you this. So this is misspelled.
That's in your database, right?
Not in my database.
Oh, it's, I can't remember where it is, but it's,
This is going to be in my controller. In my bugs controller where I do the all method. Where I'm defining the name of the key. So that's where I should go. It was misspelled there.
I don't think I ever would have found that.
It didn't like give you an error because all that is just
I can call
It could be
that's the name
whatever.
of the key.
Yeah, it's
So I
just the
can
name
call
of the
that
key.
whatever. What if you didn't know where this was? How could you maybe find this? Like,
You can do like just press the magnifying glass.
yeah, if you do
Look
this
for it.
magnifying glass, you can do like a command search. Like your whole folder. So sometimes this can maybe be like, dude, I have no idea where that is.
Oh, that's handy.
Oh, and I misspelled it there. That's just a,
That's just a comment. Yes, that doesn't matter.
that's like, oh, there it is. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that global search can be very useful.
That's nice for like debugging.
Yeah,
Thanks, Microsoft.
yeah, that one's super useful. So now if I refresh, cool. Now I'm rendering, those are just in an array, right? So if I go back to my home.cat, I just write here. do a BD dot treatments dot map, because that's just in an array. We'll just keep this simple. We'll just do the treatment dot name. And we'll also give this a class of bordered. So I have this, so I'm doing a map function. I'm nesting through all my bugs, but then all those bugs have treatments. So why don't I map through all of those? And there we go. Bug name, COVID, bug ID, Pfizer, J&J. Pretty sweet, huh?
Are you getting two green?
Yeah, I would need, I don't think I have enough styles. So if I went to my app,
Oh, how many?
because I think I have a border, I think that's like 4 borders. So if I wanted a different one, another one.
Doesn't it max out there at 4 of those?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It might not be, this might not be, I don't know about like efficiency, or this is probably not the best way to do it, but
Question, do you need all that data on the bottom on your homepage?
do I need all this right here?
Yeah. Like, do you want us on our homepage? Do you want us to have that too?
You don't have to, and you won't get docked for having it though. I think having it there though is helpful, because you can, it's just the stringify method. Because that's like a way you can just quickly, and like a quick, cheap way to see it. If I want to actually take this bug data and make it a little more cleaner, well, now I have to write this function. Like, so I could render bug data like this, or I could do it like that.
All right.
All right. Now this is kind of, I'm kind of liking where this is going, because well, now I have on this homepage, I now have like, this is my show. I'm showing my bugs, and I'm also showing all their treatments, right? What? So if I do a new bug, so let's go to bugs new, because this is kind of what I was trying to show. So this is like, all right, let's do, actually do something else. Actually, let's go to my bugs and delete some of these bad ones. Okay. And I'm going to refresh my page just so like we go home. I just have those 2 bugs. Okay. Let's go create a new bug. Let's call this like, I don't know, flu vid bad bug. Okay. So we create that. That adds to like this bugs page. Now I go to my home page. Wait, why did that blow up? What does this error look like? Cannot read properties undefined of name. Remember yesterday when I was like, you're gonna have this one error all the time?
Is that your backend then? Or is it
No,
just what you
this
use
error
in
can
your
happen.
front
This is
end?
like any coding language. It's so common. So this one, and it's telling me right here.
Oh yeah.
Home.js line 15, yeah.
Okay, so let's just kind of remember, can't read undefined reading name. Line 15.
Oh, is that the bugs.name or the bug dot? Yeah.
Yeah, what is undefined?
I think
Like, you don't
is
need
it
to know how
bug?
this works. You just need to know this error, it's on line 15, cannot read properties name. I mean, it's so weird how they write it, but Cannot read properties of undefined. It's trying to get name of this thing that's undefined. So what exactly is undefined?
Bug, right?
What?
It's bug, right?
It's bug. So BD is defined, but bug is not defined. Why is bug not defined after? I mean, if I refresh, let's go ahead and refresh. It's there, like it worked. There's my fluid. It's when I do a new bug, go back home, that it breaks.
Something up with your form.
It's not my form because this is working. Like it's saving to the database. I guess it maybe it's kind of not really my form. It's close.
Is it somewhere on your form page?
It's all in my data provider. So here's, okay, here's my bug data. Remember when I asked you, where was it in my home? What does a bug, what does bug data look like? If you can like kind of wrap your head around this, it's going to save you a lot of pain in your coding career, or we'll get you ahead. So this is the one, and this is what I mean when you're like working with functions, you got to mentally keep track of what kind of data you're working with and what the data looks like. So my bug data, remember, is an array of objects that have bug, bug key that has like ID and name, and then it has a treatment key. That's an array of, with ID, name, success rate. This add bug method, when I call it in my form, I'm getting it right here. This is
You do res.data.data. Just to go one deeper because it's in another object.
when I create a bug in the database. So now I'd ask like what, and let's just say, what does res.data look like?
I guess it's already pulling all your information anyways. So
Like if I successfully create a bug to my database, and how, because I've actually set up this controller, so I should really, since I wrote this controller, I really should know what I give back, right? Because I'm the person defining what this gives back. So once again, you might say, what, you might say Rails is easy because you're following these conventions. It might be easy to get work, but you actually understand what it's doing. So, and that, I think that's why this is not being critical. I'm just, this is where you should be, if you think you know Rails, you should just be able to either say what this is returning or be able to know where to go to look to see what this is returning. So like when I ask, what does res.data look like, or what is it? Like, is it an array? Is it an object?
I mean, you could do a console log
it's an array of objects.
and have it show up in your
I love that. If you don't know, you can always do a console.log. That's a great, what is res.data? That is a great way to figure that out. Just log it. So let's go do a new. So let's go bugs, new, let's do new, taco bug, and then 3. Res.data. What does that look like?
it's just one object.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the object you just created to the database. It's a bug object, right? Cool. And now we're passing that to the add bug method. So res.data is a bug. You know, it has like an ID, a name. What else does our bug have? Bug type, etc. Dot, dot, dot. So I'm calling add bug now, and I'm passing it that bug. Okay, so now let's go to my data provider. So as is, when I call this right now, bug is going to look like this. It's going to be a bug, right? That's why I called it bug. But what does my bug data look like? Like, what does one object in that look like? I mean, I have it right here.
An array.
It has a bug key, which is the bug, which is that bug,
Right.
which is that object, and it has a treatments key, which is an array of treatments.
Right.
So what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, so here's my array of
Oh,
bugs. I'm coming in here and I'm plopping one in right there. That looks like that. Now do these, so now I have two bugs inside of here, or supposedly, do these match?
No.
so
No.
yeah, so you're adding just one bug to the bug and treatment.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? And so you
Well,
need
I
a
don't
bug.
even have that treatments array because I just created
Yeah.
this bug. It doesn't have anything. So
Yeah.
what I kind of, and I need, this is, now it's breaking my front end because technically right now it doesn't have anything. So now I actually need to come and say, oh, let's give this a bug key. Let's make, first of all, let's make this an object. Set the bug key equal to the thing that was passed. Give it a treatments array. Just have that be empty. I spell treatments. Treatments. Because I'm getting this, it's kind of weird because I got to like maintain the integrity of this bug data state. This is where this can get like a little confusing. Well, now that especially with like nested data. But really, I mean, as less than like this specific example, it's just hopefully, and I think this concept takes a while to kind of wrap your head around, but it's really, really important to know what kind of functions, like what kind of data your function's taking in, like what kind of data does your state look like? Because in this case, I'm getting a bug that does not quite match my state. So I need to come in and kind of, you know, I really have to like add this empty array, call it treatments, and add this bug key. So now when I come in and create a bug, so let's just, I'm gonna go delete all my bugs, or at least the stupid ones. Okay, delete. I'm gonna refresh too. Okay, so I just have one bug. I have a toggle bug, so I'm going to create a new bug. Bug here. That's a virus. Hit create. Go to my home. It's there. I have my bug name, new bug here, bug ID 8. It's not breaking when it tries to render the treatments.
What's your error though?
Probably that I don't have a key prop. That's a warning, so.
Oh, okay.
I should give, whenever I do a map, I need to give it a key.
Is there any chance we could take a break for a bit? That was.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a break. That was long.
Wait, I have a question. That just doesn't seem very efficient, just having that treatments there for no reason. Can't you just go back to what you had where you can just actually never mind, because you kind of now treatments is really tied to bug. So
Yes.
you can't just add a bug without adding treatments.
Yeah, I'm
Unless
gonna
you add
even,
an empty
yeah,
array
with this,
there.
with how I have my data, I want my bug. I want this to have the bug information and I want it to have the treatments information, even if that treatments is empty.
So maybe on your form, would it make more sense to just, when creating a new bug, like create a new treatment for it as well?
No, because you can have a, I mean, it's not like when COVID came out, they had a treatment for it right away.
Yeah,
But you know, that's not really quite fair. It's more just, it's how I designed this. I just, if I want to map over, if I want to do this home.js, you know, I'm taking my bug data, I'm mapping over it. So I'm assuming I'm assuming there's going to be a bug key and that's going to have a name. It's going to have a bug key that's going to have an ID. It's going to have a treatments key and that's going to be in an array. I could maybe do like BD. I don't know. Let's take a break.
yeah, good idea.
Cool. Let's take a break. We went along. Let's come back let's do 11:25.
You say one more sentence, my head will literally explode. I'm just kidding.
Oh, this is deep. I'm going to push this up too.
I appreciate you going through all that though.
I know it's a lot, and I
Yeah,
know I'm
thank you.
showing you a lot of different ways to do it, but I think in seeing the different ways, I don't know. It's the convention, I think, is bad. If you can see the different ways how to do it, then it makes you, kind of forces you to be like, wait, why is this different?
It's just like a
Like,
lot of new stuff that
yeah,
doesn't like click. It's like, why do all that?
it's good that you're showing us different ways, but it's hard to discern which way is which as time goes on because it just sort of feels like they all run together.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's
Yeah.
why I had to separate one. Just
And then
to
it's
learn one.
yeah, and then it just feels like just a huge pile of stuff.
I will say though, after you explain all that, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's really, all of this stuff is like, it is like, it takes 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But each time you hear it, you get like another missing piece.
How long did it take you to nail this down?
Oh, I feel like with my something that like I'd say my comparable to this is like when I was learning Redux. Because I was like decent with React, but learning the Redux paradigm, which is kind of what like the data provider is, and like the not mutating arrays or like things, that I think that took me like a good like 3 times. Like I would like learn it, I would code it, and then like I did like saw it again on like a Udemy course, like kind of get like a different, I really do, I think it's good to like get different, someone like listen to someone else explain it and then do it again. So yeah, for me it was like 3 times. And you know, that's like some of those, like one of the Udemy courses was like probably like, it was probably like a 20-hour course, and probably which I spent like, you know, 50, 60 hours on that 20-hour course, just slowly going through it, just going through the videos.
Yeah, I think I replay your videos. Like I've been up doing 12-hour days, just like watching the videos over and over and over again, trying to like get it to sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday I realized, I mean, I'm at the point where I can build an app without a data provider and like get everything that we like, get all the objectives done. But every time we bring a data provider into it, I just get so lost.
Yeah. And
like when I asked you yesterday, like what specifically a data provider was, it made sense. So like I get it, but it's just, I don't know if it's the syntax or if it's,
I don't, yeah, like I know what you're going, like I said, something similar when I was going like learning Redux. I think for you, like now that we talked about all of this stuff, I don't think Redux, I think is going to be very, you're not going to struggle as much as I did because we're learning some of these concepts. So you're kind of like getting like the first couple repetitions with it. And Redux was like super hard to learn, but now that I know it, it's so simple. And like, I don't know how I would like build apps without it. It's not only is it simple, it's like, I don't know how I would like do it without it. Like if there was a complex, like and same thing with like, I think I could do it with a data provider
right.
without this. Cause like now that I understand it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use a data provider or I'm going to use Redux because it makes my life so much easier.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying. It's like you can do one model without it. Like we are doing the bugs without it and it's easier, but that's just because it's like nicely maintained in this one place.
Yeah. No, but as projects get bigger, now you're going to have to learn how to share stuff across multiple components. I get it.
Cool. I'm going to hop off. I guess we're going to be starting back up in 3 minutes, but I'll hop off just so I can process this video and then hop back on.